Welcome back to the last Del Mar Library video of the school year. As we enter the last few weeks of school, it's important to remember to keep your habits of learning tight and your positive attitude in place. You've been working on your final essays, applying your argumentative skills in your humanities classes. Our drama class is getting ready for their big year-end performance. Science students are applying their knowledge of biology to the dissection of worms. And the TAM Transportation Authority dropped by PE to provide some good bike rules of the road. You will be getting your clearance forms very soon. You'll need to get each of your teachers and librarian to stamp it before you're able to get your yearbook and finish out the school year. When you return your iPad, the case, charging cable, and charging plug, make sure there are no stickers on the device. And before handing it to your advisor, you'll need to turn off any passcode that you've set. In 1977, the U.S. Congress chose the first 10 days of May to commemorate the history and contributions of Asian American communities here in the U.S. The week's observance became a month, the very month in which the very first Japanese immigrants came to the U.S. in 1843. This month also corresponds to the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869, as a majority of the workers who laid those railroad tracks were Chinese immigrants. Additionally, May is also Jewish American Heritage Month. In 2006, President George W. Bush set aside May to honor the important cultural contributions made to American history by Jewish Americans. Like all Heritage Months, these months are about celebrating and honoring the contributions to our American culture by the various people who make up this nation. And we have many books by Asian Americans and Jewish Americans in the library talking about that experience. Come by and check out some of these books. The Length of a String by Eliza Wiseman is about Imani, who knows exactly what she wants as her big bat mitzvah gift, to meet her birth parents. She loves her family and her Jewish community in Baltimore, but she's also wondered where she came from. When she discovers the diary of her Jewish great-grandmother, she realizes her past and her culture are more complex than she ever knew. While I Was Away is a beautiful novel from Waka Brown about a 12-year-old whose parents suspect she hasn't learned enough Japanese and decide to send her to Japan for an entire month. Waka is plucked from her straight-A student life in rural Kansas and flown across the globe, where she faces the culture shock of a lifetime. It's a great book focusing on having a foot in two cultures and finding your way in both. Resistance by Jennifer Nielsen is an action-packed novel focusing on Chaya, a teenager living in occupied Poland. After her family disappears, Chaya is determined to make a difference. Using forged papers and quick wit, Chaya becomes a courier, joins the resistance smuggling food, papers, and even people. Almost American Girl by Robin Ha is a new graphic novel about coming to America and finding one's place. This memoir is about a Korean-born, non-English-speaking girl who is abruptly transplanted from Seoul to Huntsville, Alabama, and struggles with the extreme culture shock and isolation until she discovers her true passion, comic arts. It's a beautiful book, and one that any middle school or high school student can relate to. Lastly, in our classic corner, we have Island, a collection of poetry from Chinese immigrants written on the walls of Angel Island. It's hard to imagine that many of the historic buildings at Angel Island were to be torn down until second and third generation Asian Americans fought for them to be preserved, including these incredibly gripping poems of loss, joy, and hope. This book is a great way to learn about your local community and experience some awesome poetry. Space is limited in the library as we begin our inventory process and prepare for the final 8th grade simulation, which will take our 2023 class through the last 2 weeks of school, giving them an opportunity to collaborate and apply all the skills they've gained while at Del Mar. Get ready for it, 8th grade. And remember, make sure you return your book so you can get cleared by the library. Take care.